So you found out that you are getting deployed to Udeid, and you might ask yourself, what can I do to stay in shape? Or what kind of goals can I hit? Or how am I going to maintain? So I'm going to cover that in this video. Now, most of the videos that are already out there, they cover the gyms, and those are pretty straightforward. I'm going to touch on some of the other things, like, for example, the pool, CrossFit opportunities, some of the classes, if you're a runner, what is there for you, and is there other amenities, right? Basketball court, etc. So I'll touch on that in this video. So the first big topic is going to be the Bpc Gym. So the Bpc Gym is on one side of the living area, and frankly, it's kind of got it all. It's a really massive, very modern gym that has plenty of weights, whether those are free dumbbells, whether that's bench press, whether that's deadlift stations, whether those are squat racks. I mean, just about every weight you can imagine is going to be there, and it's very big and it's very spread out. So you don't really sit around and wait for anything. Now, if you're more of like not so much into the free weights, but you also want to hit the machines just to do some strength training, tons of machines. There's several separate rooms where the machines are laid out in a sensible fashion for specific workout routines or whatever. And there's also a lot of the pulley setups, which are really nice for those that whether you're working out on machines or you do free weights, it's kind of that in between. So lots of pulley racks, so it's pretty nice. One of the additional features of the Bpc Gym is that it has a lot of like tertiary rooms that are more special purpose, or they have special layouts. For example, yoga. If you like yoga, there's a room where you can do yoga. They have a Pilates layout. They have like those studio type rooms where you can really kind of do your own thing or have a class. And actually, speaking of the class, when you go to the gym, they have a bulletin board, and it's just full of just different opportunities, different classes, whether that's if you like BJJ, if you like spin class, if you like high intensity training classes. Those classes are available for anybody that's on the base. Most of them are free, is my understanding, so it's pretty neat. And somehow in this deployed environment, you're able to maintain like a class schedule, which is pretty cool. Now, if you're interested in teaching that yourself, you can do that, and it's not left only to professional instructors or anything. There's a lot of people out here that just kind of volunteer to do that sort of thing because they have the experience, they have the passion and the skill set. So if that's your thing, definitely that's an opportunity. One of the other interesting things about the Bpc, and it's probably makes it pretty unique, is that it actually has a pool, so a swimming pool for not for recreation, but for swimming laps or swimming lanes, right? So that pool is indoors, and it's kind of nice because even though it's a swimming pool, it still gets hot enough outside to where you probably wouldn't want to be jumping in the water. So that's pretty nice. It's in a temperature controlled environment. So lastly, covering the Bpc Gym, if you're not into weights or you're not into working on the machines and you're into CrossFit, there's actually a very large CrossFit station behind the Bpc Gym, and that's really cool. If that's your thing, there's a community here, as there are on most Air Force bases or military bases. So if you're into doing the Murphs and all that other stuff and kettlebells and all that, there's a very nice layout with pads and plenty of rack space and plenty of all the tools that you need to maintain a CrossFit routine, right? So on the other side of the base, the Coalition Corner side, there is a kind of a different layout, and it's a little more bare bones, but it has pretty much all you need as well, and it's a nice alternative to the busier, bigger, more spread out Bpc. So while the Bpc is more modern, the CC side is a little more basic, but basic is in some ways is sometimes better. So it doesn't get as busy, even though it's smaller, it doesn't get as packed. There is a cardio room, which is very nice, treadmills, Stairmasters, etc., the usual stationary bikes. There's also a small yoga space, but the weight room is actually pretty nice as well. It's more condensed. But if you like squats, if you like all the other stuff that I mentioned previously, free weights, machines, it has it all. It really does. And it is also, both of these are also 24/7. So alongside those, there's also a basketball court, which is pretty neat. And it's a full court. It's not really meant for spectator sports, right? This is a deployed environment, so you're not going to have like teams coming through or anything like that. But if you want to do an impromptu pickup game or something like that, it's there for you. You can reserve it for other activities, example BJJ or combatives class or those kind of things. Honor guard practice is actually happens in there as of right now, so it's definitely pretty neat. Now, if you're a runner, I hate to break it to you, but IED is really not the best place to do a lot of running. So if you're used to running, if you're from Washington State, or you're stationed in Europe, or you're stationed in Colorado, and you're used to these big, scenic, breathtaking, inspirational backdrops while you run through wooden trails and whatnot, IED doesn't really have that. There are a lot of factors here that are beyond the control of DoD and those that run the space that make this a difficult place to maintain a good running schedule or routine. So first and foremost, it's extremely hot 4 months out of the year, deathly hot, and it hits 120 with regularity. It's extremely humid, right? So it is a desert, it's the Middle East, that's to be expected. But one of the other things is that it's extremely flat, so there's no variation to the terrain at all. It's just flat dirt, rocks, that's it. So even if you veer off the sidewalk and you try to make your own path, it's not the kind of place you want to run because of the loose rocks that are everywhere in the middle of the sand. It's a perfect opportunity to roll your ankle or something like that. So running off running off the trail on base is not really a thing. It's at your own risk, and you don't want to get hurt out here. That's definitely true. If you are going to run, there is a track on the base that is a standard oval track. It's a 1/4 mile track, and it's just pretty straightforward. It's a 1/4 mile track. It's in a big circle. There isn't a lot to look at when you run, but if you like to run, you can run on the sidewalk, you can run on the track, and you can run in the treadmill. But keep in mind, most of the time it's too hot in the summer to run during the day. So you'll probably be running at night, or you'll be running indoors. And that's just kind of the way it is out here. So all in all, you can really cover every athletic activity out here. So that's pretty nice. And for those of you that are wondering, there's not a GNC on base, but the BX has all the protein you could want, and you can order most things that are legal online and have them shipped directly to you. So the BPC does carry the basics, the creatines, the pre-workout, and all the other supplements, BCAAs and all that kind of stuff, if that's your thing. So all in all, you have a lot of time on your hands, so working out is definitely a good way to kind of de-stress and kind of get in your happy space, and it's really essential out here. So it's not uncommon for people to lose significant amount of weight and to kind of come back from these deployments in some of the best shape of their lives. So definitely take advantage of that opportunity. If you have kids and a family back home, this is going to be one of the best times for you to focus on yourself and your own self-improvement. With all that in mind, if you have any questions, just throw them in the comment box, and keep in mind OPSEC, and as always, God bless.